might agree or you might disagree with this, but I feel like when I was at school, like if you wanted to do beauty, there was this stereotype that you were stupid. Do you agree?
That's the exact reason I didn't do it from school.
Hi guys, it's Holly here at Faces. Welcome back to the Face It podcast. Today I'm here with the lovely Sam from Sam Jane at the Salon. Sam, thank you so much for coming on the podcast this morning and having a chat with me.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're more than welcome. So just to give everyone a little bit of background, can you just give us a bit of insight into how you got into the industry, where it all started, and how you've built your business to where it is today?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in the beauty industry for around 20 years now, coming up 20 years. I didn't go and do it straight from school. I actually went to college and then uni. I went to uni to do a psychology degree and it wasn't for me. I did 5 months and quit. And then I ended up in various bits of jobs and I'd always wanted to do beauty. So I just made that decision then. I was like, right, I'm going to go and do it. Back then, really the only route into it was to go to college. So I went to night school and did my level 2 and my level 3. But while I was doing that, I went and did an acrylic nail course and fell in love with nails and set up my business. So I've never worked for anybody else in the beauty industry. Yeah. I was very naive. I literally just opened a shop. And when I look back, I just expected all these clients to come and to have this business because I'd opened a shop. And when I look back now, I just think, wow. But yeah, I persevered and I did it. I had other jobs running alongside it in the end. But I loved it that much. I was like, this has to work. I have to make it work. So over the years, I introduced lots of other treatments. I don't like staying still. I like to progress all the time. I just love doing courses, learning new things. So I've done all sorts over those 20 years. About 6 years ago, I went into PMU, permanent makeup. So I was kind of at a crossroads at that point. I knew I wanted to do something a little bit more than just your standard nails and beauty treatments. Yeah. I really wanted to do aesthetics at that time. But around that time, it was when we were all starting to talk about the changes and regulations coming in. And I spoke to lots of different people around that time who were saying, oh, beauty therapists won't be able to do it. There's no point. You'll spend thousands of pounds on your training and they're going to stop you doing it. And I just had this absolute block off people that I was talking to. And it frightened me.
Sorry to interrupt you with that, Sam. I just want to say,
right.
There's so many people who have said the same thing, that people around them are just like, don't even bother, Yeah. And it really annoys me. I'm like, like, so many people have felt held back and stopped by random people who actually don't know, because none of us know what's going to happen.
And that was going back 6-7 yeyears ago. So even then there were people saying, nope, they're going to stop you doing it.
I spoke to someone the other day who said she's been in the industry for 15 years, and she said 15 years ago people were saying that to her. Anyway, just felt the need to just highlight that because guys, unless you are speaking to someone in the government who happens to know more than we do, don't let people around you stop you from doing what you want to do, whether it be aesthetics, whether it be something else. Little bit of motivational speech there for us this morning.
I was actually told at that time, the person that I was speaking to, don't bother doing it. If you want to go into aesthetics, go back to university and go and do your nursing training. And I was like, I don't want to do a degree that's all about nursing. I didn't want to be a nurse. I knew that, you know, and I was like, what is the point in doing all that when I know it's aesthetics that I want to do? It felt like a really, really strange route into it for me personally. I know it's right for other people. So I was at the crossroads, and that was the advice, and I just felt it wasn't a safe enough route for me at that time. So I decided to go and do permanent makeup course. And I loved it. I really did love it. And I still love doing permanent makeup now. I tend to focus on brows. But it's always niggled away at me as the aesthetics, and it's always been there. I really want to do it. So November last year, I went and did my first course. I dipped my toe in the water, and I went and did a skin boosters course and loved it.
Do you know what? Sorry again to interrupt you, but like, you're making some good points, and I know I'll forget once you finish speaking. I think skin boosters is a perfect treatment to start on if you're like to dip your toe in. And if I'm being honest, I don't know why pathway courses don't just include skin boosters. Skin boosters and toxin, I think, because I'm not a practitioner, so I don't want to stand here and say, oh, they're easier treatments, because I don't know that. However, more superficial injections, isn't it? You know, the results are incredible, especially if you're doing the back technique. It's the same points in everyone's face. You know, you're very, very unlikely you're going to cause a vascular occlusion. So I think skin boosters is like the perfect way to start off with aesthetics.
Yeah, that was it. It just felt like the natural starting point to kind of try it. And it's always that thing that if it wasn't for me, I'd only just dipped my toe in the water. I'd not invested thousands and then gone, I don't like doing this. But I did. I loved it. So since November, I've done courses as I've been going along, and actually it was only last week that I did my lip filler training. So I've done my toxin, my skin boosters, under eyes, and last week was my first lip filler training, and I absolutely loved it.
Oh, I was like, hope she loves it, because obviously I've gone through so many years of like being like, aesthetics is what I'm destined to do, like this is what I want. And so many people get to their foundation filler and they're like, oh, I'm not going to do filler, I'm just going to do anti-wrinkle injections, because they get
I know people that do that. No, it was just, I know it sounds really strange, but I literally came away from the course going, that's just lit a fire up inside me. There was just something that I was like, wow, this is for me.
Amazing.
It's just that, I think that it's creating art, isn't it? Creating a set of lips.
It is. And I think it's been like obviously a long time coming. You know, you've been in beauty for 20 years. And I think especially it's a nice natural progression into injectables from SPMU as well. And like you say, it's an art. Some of the best practitioners I've seen train, because I used to work in a training academy, are beauticians, because you have the eye for detail, you know, the client care side of things as well. And honestly, some of the best practitioners out there are non-medics, and they are, you know, from a beauty background. And it does make sense. It makes sense because, you know, you've got to be so careful. You've got to have that creativity side as well, especially with like dermal filler treatments. So I'm over the moon that you are like, right, you know, what else can I do now? So have you had clients literally like asking you for ages, like, when are you going to do your aesthetics? Because obviously you've had clients time.
I've got some really long-term clients from being in the industry so long, and they've been going other places for things, and they've said to me for years, well, as soon as you start doing it, Sam, I'm going to come to you, and when are you going to do yours? So that's been running there in the background as well for me. I'm like, these people are asking for it. So that's been really nice. Because these you know, the clients that trust me, they've been coming to me for a long time, they've followed my journey, and sort of every time I've added treatments on, they've gone, oh well, I'll give that a go.
Yeah, do you know what, you've made such a good point there. It's about that trust, isn't it? And you know, people don't want to go to 5 different people for their treatments. They find someone that they like and they trust and they get good results with, and you know, you built up friendships, I'm sure, with some clients as well. They want to be able to come to you for everything, and it must have been really reassuring for you that you had that trust before they've even like seen you do the treatments. They just know you're going to do a good job, and they know that they're going to be in safe hands, which I think is just a real testament to the business that you have built.
Yeah, I had a moment after it wasn't necessarily after I'd done my skin boosters, after my anti-wrinkle training, where I got that imposter syndrome that so many of us seem to suffer in this industry. And I kind of went, God, who are people actually going to want to come to me? And then all of a sudden people did start coming, and I was like, okay, people trust me. Wow. I did have that moment of, you know, gosh, you're going to actually trust me to do these things.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think, like you say, we all get it every now and then. But I think I've absolutely no doubt that, you know, your aesthetics is absolutely going to fly. You know, how long? So you did your anti-wrinkle and your skin boosters last November, so nearly a year. I think that
skin boosters was the beginning of the end of last year, and then my anti-wrinkle was the beginning of this year. Okay. Yeah.
You know what? I think that's such a nice time frame to like ease yourself in, you know, get your clients talking about those treatments and coming to you rather than going to other people. And just obviously build your own confidence with needlework as well. I think that's such a good way to do it. And the thing is, your clients who will now come and get their dermal filler treatments with you, they're gonna have like gorgeous skin now. They're gonna have like no wrinkles. Their filler treatments will look even better, which is amazing. So obviously I know you've just done your training, but have you already got plans ahead for other dermal filler treatments or other aesthetic treatments you're going to be offering or want to do your training in?
Yeah, I've always got my next course in mind. I've got my advanced anti-wrinkle coming up next month, I think that is. And at some point I absolutely will go and do more dermal filler training. I probably need to take a little break now and just replenish some funds because this year has just been about spending money on training.
You know what? Good, because you know it's how you're going to progress. It also shows your clients that you want to learn and that you want to be better. You want to refine your techniques. You want to offer more treatments, and I think it shows a lot to your clients if you're continuously learning. And obviously, it's going to build your confidence as well. I love the advanced anti-wrinkle treatments as well. Like I was thinking this morning, I need to get my masseter redone because I like bite down all the time. And I was like, I think it's been quite a while since I've had it done, so it's probably all one off. But I think there's so many different things you can do with Botox, or you know, anti-wrinkle. And I think a lot of things you kind of only know about if you're in the industry. So it's great to actually talk to your clients about, you know, if they're saying like, I get headaches all the time, you know, could they need Botox in their masseter? If they maybe have overfilled lips but still want to get a lip treatment, maybe a lip flip would be a better option. You know, it's great treatments to offer, like excess sweating, your hyperhidrosis.
So
there's so many treatments that I think just clients you don't really see that on social media because they're not very like glamorous like treatments.
You can't photograph them that easily, can you? So that's it. I don't think people realize there are solutions to problems that they have with anti-wrinkle treatments. Definitely.
Smile as well, that's a big one. You know, some people probably think you need surgery to fix that. You know, you really don't. So it's worth, I think, you know, making your clients aware of, you know, what other things you can achieve with these treatments, because I think it's a fantastic course to do, definitely. Something I wanted to touch on with you, Sam, was obviously you went to university, you did psychology, you then were like, this is not for me, you know, got straight into beauty. You might agree or you might disagree with this, but I feel like when I was at school, like if you wanted to do beauty, there was a stereotype that you were stupid. Do you agree?
That's the exact reason I didn't do it from school. Yeah. I remember having a conversation with the careers tutor at the time, and I got in a grammar school. So the results I was expecting were very, very good. And I remember the conversation and saying I want to do beauty therapy and being told that it's basically for people who don't really achieve very well. And why on earth would you want to do that when you could go to university and do anything? And that stuck in my head. And that's why I was like, gosh, I should go to college and do A-levels and then go to university, and went down the other path. So yeah, I think there has been a massive stigma attached to wanting to go and do beauty because you're just a beauty therapist.
And like, who even created that stereotype? Like, I hate that, because the thing is, I'm so passionate about skincare, beauty, everything aesthetics. Like, I'm not a practitioner. Obviously, I love what I do with faces, but I always think, like, if that stereotype wasn't there when I was in school, or if I wasn't pushed, if there was nothing like pulling me away from doing beauty, I would have gone and done that at college.
Yeah.
Because also I'm looking at other people at school who did do beauty. They're smashing it. They're doing their aesthetics now, you know, got their own businesses, which is amazing. But it's just so disappointing that society told us that it was like, if you're not academic, you do beauty. Like, so wrong. But I'm hoping that has changed now. I'm presuming it has, because I see all these teenagers like doing skincare, like makeup, like, you know. So I'm hoping
I think that is changing. I do feel like that's changing, definitely. So I hope there's not that stigma attached to young girls that want to go in the beauty industry. I think probably social media helps with that, because they're seeing these, you know, women and men absolutely smashing it in their own businesses. And there's so much more to running a beauty business, than just waxing somebody's eyebrows.
You've got to do your accounts, you've got to do your admin, you've got to order your products, you've got to get licensing, maybe depending on what treatments you do, you know, health and safety. There's so much, like you say, it's not just the treatment's such a tiny aspect of running a business. And I just think that's crazy. Like, why were people told that it was only a certain type of person who did beauty? Like, you know? So bad, so bad. I was thinking about it when you were telling us how you started, and I was thinking, I wonder if that is why you went to uni and then you actually thought, you know what, I'm going to do what I believe I should do. So this is anyone sign who's watching. It's similar to people telling you shouldn't do aesthetics because you're not going to be able to do it. If you are destined to do something and you have a passion for something, you go do it 100%. So let's just sort of, on that note, let's move on to regulation then. It seems like quite a fitting time to bring this up. Obviously we've had the red, amber, green traffic light system released from the government. How do you feel about that, and what are your thoughts?
So I'll be honest, I've not delved too far into it just yet, because I feel like social media is absolutely saturated at the minute with everybody's different thoughts and opinions. And I tend to, if I go down a rabbit hole, I will end up deep down that rabbit hole. And I just feel like there's very few people that know exactly what's going to happen. A lot of it is surmising and making predictions and people's opinions. And I don't want to get bogged down with that at the minute. It probably would cause me quite a bit of anxiety if I started delving too far into it. The only other thing I would say is, obviously from being a PMU artist, we have to, and I think it's the same for microneedling and some of the other skin treatments, we've to the council come do an inspection, the environmental health officers, and spend some time with you. They check lots of things.
Yeah.
And I was really shocked when I rang the environmental health officer up and sort of said, right, I've actually done an aesthetics injectables course now. Do you need to come and do a separate inspection, or does my PMU cover it? And he sort of said, oh, we don't have anything like that for aesthetics. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
So you need to come and check all those things, that I've got shorts disposals, that I'm buying my equipment from reputable suppliers, that I've got, you know, my floor is wipeable, everything like that. And he was just like, no, there's nothing. So I was a bit like, right, okay, I fully support some of these regulations coming in, because I just don't understand why it can be one rule for one. We're all breaking the skin. There's all risks. It's just, you know, similar in that sense. So I welcome that coming in massively. In terms of the other bits, I'm a little bit, it could cause a bit of anxiety, and I've not delved too far into it yet.
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't blame you. I think I'm the same. When there was like when COVID was around, I just didn't even watch the news. Like I was, and it's completely different, but I was just like, I don't need to go and watch the news to know what's happening. Like I know what's happening, and it's just going to make me anxious. So I do completely appreciate that. And you know, like you say, you can so easily get down a rabbit hole about it. You know, it's and people just saying things as well. You know, this whole like medic thing, and the thing is, what will be will be. But what I would say, if anyone's watching, if you have not filled out your questionnaire, you need to fill out your questionnaire, because this is the time where you can have your say in terms of what you think. So you got, I think it's 3 or 4 weeks left of that. So if you've not done your questionnaire, get your family to do it, get your fish to do it, get your dog to do it, get your clients to do it as well. You know, your clients are the ones who are like, you know, they're so important, and they support you as well. But yeah, we're just going to obviously have to see. We've got some like good podcasts coming out with regards to regulation in a bit more detail. So we've got one that's releasing today with Maxine from Cosmetic Couture, and then I'm also filming one with a panel of 3 others today as well. So I think we're trying to make it positive, sort of, in terms of, right, stick together, you know, we're all in the same situation. You know, there's no point stressing about it, but also don't just sit back and wait for other people to fill out the questionnaire for you. You know, do it yourself and show that you show what you think as well. Okay, so moving on to something a bit more positive. So obviously you have built your business amazingly, Sam. You know, you've done kind of like the perfect route to aesthetics, I think. You know, going through nails, beauty, moving up to SPMU, going into your aesthetics. I think it's just a natural progression. Is there any sort of specific time or event that's happened where you think, you know what, I'm just so proud of like what I've achieved or what I've done? Like, is there anything that sort of sticks out for you?
No, I need to do that a little bit more. I know one of my downfalls is that I get on this train of progression and what I'm doing next, and I do feel sometimes like I don't personally, and I'm sure other people will relate, take the time sometimes to sit back and go, look at what I've actually managed to do. Look at what I've achieved. Because I'm always planning the next thing, and there's a little bit around that feeling of never appreciating what you've done yourself and what you've managed, because you're always jumping ahead. And it is something that I am trying really consciously to do a little bit more, to be a little bit more present, and enjoy where I am, and rather than just continually jumping ahead of myself.
Definitely, it's so important. You've done incredibly well. Your clients, I'm sure, would leave you amazing reviews, and are so grateful for you. And like you say, it's really important to just take a step back and be like, oh my god, like I've done this myself. Like people have tried to.
Yeah, I did this.
Yeah. Do you put your certificates on your wall in your clinic?
I have a few up. I need to get some more up. I need
Put
to
them
order
all
some more
up.
frames.
So you can be like, wow, like this is what I
literally. It would fill my wall. Because I just, yeah.
Be proud. And I spoke to someone the other day. She said that she measures her success, and her proud moment is when she looks at all of her sharp spins that need collecting. Because she was like, I started off with these tiny sharp spins, now I get like the massive ones. And she was like, sometimes I just look at them when they need collecting, and I'm like, this is really good. And I thought, what, that's
brilliant.
Such a like, look at where you've come, take some time in an evening, read your reviews that people have left you, look at the pictures of your before and afters, and just take stock. Maybe that can be your New Year's resolution for next year.
Yeah.
Just finally to finish, Sam, obviously you've used Faces for quite some time now, so thank you very much for using the app. Do you want to just give us a bit of insight into how Faces has helped with your business and what you like about it?
Faces has literally changed my business life. I am terrible at the paperwork side. It's life and business wise. I'm not very good at the adulting bit. I like the good stuff. I like doing the treatments. I like talking to clients. That stuff I'm really awful at. But the fact that it's all in one place, the consent forms and the consultation forms are all done. I know we can go on and tweak them. But the thought of starting to compile all those myself would literally, I never would have got it done. I would have procrastinated. It would have been on my to-do list forever and a day, all there for me. And it's amazing. I can just, even down to, I take the pictures of all the details of the products that I've used and just upload that. I take the before pictures and after pictures and just upload them. It just works for me so well because it's so easy.
Yeah, amazing. No, I'm so pleased. And we want to take the stress, well, as much stress as possible out of running your business. But I'm obviously don't use Faces because I don't do treatments myself, but sometimes I think like if I'd like qualified into like aesthetics or something, I'd be like, oh my god, this is too much admin. Like I'm the same. Like that's what I'd think. I'd be like, I can't be dealing with all this paperwork. Like, I can't be dealing with like trying to get a prescription by like registering on a website and messaging someone on WhatsApp. Like, it's just too much. So if you're not using Faces, then get to know you should be using it for your business.
You need to.
But Sam, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. We've started the week off so well. We've had such a good chat, and I cannot wait to see what the next 6 months, 12 months brings for you, because I just have no doubt you're going to absolutely fly with your aesthetics. And just really, really good chat. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I've loved it. It's been great. Thank you.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.